Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Okay. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to another episode of Unapologetically Keith. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9:30 to 10:30, where we deal with a little bit of everything, more so with relationships, but all the things that can stir up a little controversy, a little crisis, because I am a crisis specialist and I try to do the things that's necessary to try to help those out. So I am excited to come on 3 times a week to be able to offer something. So again, let me just see who we got on. All right. So again, thank you so much for joining. And every Friday, if I can talk her into it, I get the lovely wife to join me. And so tonight, I'm going to be talking about long distance relationships. Yeah. And it's funny because this was a topic that was picked by one of the group members. So I appreciate somebody offering their request. I've been trying to go back over and get all the requests and honor those. And by all means, remember, you can just let me know in the group or send me something directly to be able to say, let me know that you have an idea. It has been a long day, so you have to excuse me if I seem a little. I'm trying to stay with it tonight because it's been the little one is back in school, and it's been a good and bad day, I guess. Not bad, but just one of those days where you just kind of go, oh, is it going to end? But listen, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be alive, so I'm not going to complain. And so, had to help the wife out today. So good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, Kim, how we doing? Good to see you. So we're talking long distance relationships. So, I am fully transparent with you guys. So I'm going to be transparent again. I was never one that believed in long distance relationships. Hey, Amy. And that was just me. I was not, and again, that was from my point of view, that I was never one for long-term relationships. It was just not something for me because I'm spoiled and I like to have the person I'm dealing with in proximity, or at least in traveling distance that's not too far. So, but as a person that deals with other people's feelings, and as a person who has to find ways to help other people, I always take a look at things from a different point of view. And so with this, like anything, I did a little research and I did a little meditating, and I had to ask myself, I said, okay, in this time of COVID, and people are staying close to home, and people are doing everything from the house where they can't go out and do the things that they want to do, long distance relationships is going to be a real thing. And I need to be able to offer some type of insight to that, because I don't want to ever be in a position where I can't help somebody. Hey, Ebony, how we doing tonight? Good to have you. And so I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to look at this from the positive perspective. Hey, Trace, I'm going to look at this from the positive perspective. So I said, I'm going to do some research on, does this long distance relationship thing work? So I did some research, I did some reading, and I came up with 10 ways that long distance relationships will work. And this is for my folks who are trying to stay close to home, fighting off this COVID thing. My single folks who's not sure, what the dating thing is going to be. Even my married folks that might have to deal with a significant other being in another place, but not so much the married folks, because y'all are married. And if y'all have to make certain decisions, I don't think it's going to end the marriage. Maybe, you never know. But this is, I guess, more so for the dating folks if long distance relationships work. Now, I have seen them work and I have seen them fail. And all for different reasons, too. It's no one set thing. Like anything else in relationships, it's never one set thing. And so I had to think about this tonight. So I got 10 that I'm going to go through tonight. And just a little bit of housekeeping. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody that has been tuning in. I really do love it. I'm going to start doing some Zoom. Basically, they're kind of like breakouts that on other nights, like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to set up some Zoom time. And I'm going to limit the numbers. I'm not going to have a lot of people. Where we'll have a more intimate setting where I can answer some questions for you. And just go over some things that you might be interested in just talking about. This way I'll get to see you. And by getting to see you, it'll allow me to get to know you and understand you guys a lot better. And this way I can answer any relationship questions. I'm thinking about a half to 45 minutes, maybe an hour or so. Hey, Michelle. And this way you'll let me know who's interested. I'll send you the Zoom link. And you guys will come on Zoom with me, and I'll get to see you, and I'll answer some questions for you, and just, hang out and talk, because I want to open up that line of communication also. I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm so glad you guys are supporting. I love the fact that you guys are showing up. It really goes down in the chat room, which we know. It definitely goes down in the chat room. And the reason why now is to offer that next level of opportunities for folks to be able to deal with whatever might be on your mind. And it'll be a no judgment. Like anything I do, there's no judgments. And you'll have the opportunity to ask any question that you like. And let's have a conversation with it. And in this way, we can really get to some things that might be just on your mind that you might need some help with. And it allows me to be able to be in that position to offer some type of help, because this is what I do. I'm working on a lot. I'm trying to put a lot of things together from my platform to be able to help a lot of people, and things are moving forward. So I'm managing. It's interesting. You ask for success, you better be ready to deal with success. So I asked the Lord for some things, and they say, be careful what you ask for. So he's opening some doors, but I got to be prepared to walk through them the right way. So we're going to do that. Okay, so let's get started tonight, guys. I pray everybody is well. Again, hello to everybody that's here. Oh, what did I just drop? Okay, that was my cord to my phone. Okay, so if we are ready, if you guys are ready, let's put a 1 in the chat room and let's get this started. The 10 ways, the 10 things that will actually, that help a long distance relationship. 10 things that will help a long distance relationship work. And y'all gonna go through this with me, because like I said, I was on the other side of that coin. And also, any of you that are in long distance relationships, by all means, offer it in the chat room. If it works, doesn't work, if that's something that you could try or something like that, because feedback is always a positive for me. All right, we got a couple of number ones. Let's go. All right, here we go. Wednesday evening. Let's go. The first thing you really need. Okay, Michelle, here we go. All right, the first thing is maintain open lines of communication. And again, I put the list together with the understanding of how do I help people that this is what they're into or this is what they're trying to do. So I took me out the picture and I threw my therapist hat on and said, okay, let's go. So the first one, number one, maintain open lines of communication. A successful relationship requires the investment of time and attention, whether a couple lives together in the same house or separated by geographical barriers. Yes. And you will always notice in any form of relationship, communication is critical, because it allows feelings to be expressed. And to me, and I share this when I go and speak, I share this in a lot of my sessions, especially when I'm doing couples counseling. Communication is like breathing. I talk, I'm breathing out. You listen, you're breathing in. You talk, you're breathing out. I listen, I'm breathing in. And that back and forth allows us to sustain life. If any one of us decides to override the other one and just keep talking without taking anything in, you're now breathing out. There's only but so much a person can take in before something happens to them, and there's only so much that you can do and have no air, and you go. So if there is no back and forth, you both perish. So communication is like breathing. It has to be mutual. It has to be back and forth, back and forth. And a lot of us do not do that. A lot of us do not allow the other person to get their say. And so because of that, it's stagnated. So in a long distance relationship, you must maintain open lines of communication. Now, how often you talk, that is between you and the person that you are trying to get close to. Not everybody likes to talk every day. Some people can't get enough of it. Some people want you to call all day, every day. Some people, if they hear from you once a week, they're good. Some people once or twice a week. It all depends. That is something that you will work out in your conversations with each other. Okay, so that's very important. Number 2. Oh. So if anybody wants to add, communication is the key to any relationship. Exactly, Michelle. And I'm very serious about that because I notice in a lot of the couples that I work with, I just sit and watch a lot of times. I watch how they communicate when we first get started. And you can tell a whole lot. You can, from body language to the actual physical choice of language, you can see a lot and really tell a lot. It's the same thing with kids. When I'm working with kids, I can tell when a kid is just super withdrawn. I have to find a way to draw them out. So I have to connect with something that they connect with to bring out how they feel. And then we can start to shift it into something else. So communication is definitely key. All right, you guys ready for number 2? Let's put a number 2 in the chat room, unless you have something else you want to offer into the chat there. I will definitely read it. But let's go on to number 2. Because number 1, maintain open lines of communication. That is one way to keep a long distance relationship healthy, to make it work. Tracy with the number 2. There we go. Let's go, guys. Number 2. There you go. Michelle with the number 2. All right, here we go. I'm going to be nosy, too. No, I'm not going to ask anybody in a long-term relationship. I'm going to stop being nosy. I'm not going to be nosy. All right, here we go. Number 2. Embrace technological advancements. Embrace technological advancements. Understand, on a similar note, technological advancements have created an innovative range of affordable real-time communication methods. Resources such as Skype have subsequently, Lord, I can't read, made it easier and cheaper than ever to make international long-distance calls. We are doing it right here, right now, with Live. So we know with FaceTime, Duo, Skype, Google Hangouts, and a few others where you can have that type of conversation. Now we have Facebook Rooms, Zoom. There's so many avenues because of technology that allows you to see that person, which is then going to enhance the opportunity for you to talk. Okay, you can't be in physical presence of each other, but there's no excuse that you can't see each other, be able to express to each other. And if you're on that freaky side, you can go ahead and get into that too if that's your thing, other than being able to physically see a person. That's why I don't understand how people get catfished. I'm not going to lie. I actually think people want to get catfished because with all the technology that's in place, how you don't get to see a person from a distance that you just confessing all this love to, and you now want to give away your money and everything else, and you didn't bother to say, let's get on Duo, let's get on FaceTime, let's get on Live, something. It makes no sense to me. And I know the technology that we're in makes no sense. And so I want you to put a pin in that one too, because often I'll hear people say, I just don't have time for that. Listen, the technology that's being used in the world today needs to be addressed. It needs to be used, and it needs to be used in a positive way, like I'm using this right here. This gives me an opportunity. If they won't video chat, then run. Of course, if they don't want to show their face, don't be bothered with them. And my thing is, how did y'all meet? You met with a picture. You met with a photo. If you've met online, if you haven't met physically. So if you've never met this person, all you met was a screen name. To not want to see a person other than what they show you is already scary to me. I need to be able to see. I need interaction. And that's something that just makes sense. And I don't know. So when people are really, just like I don't even accept friend requests if you don't have a picture. If you hiding that much, then you don't need to interact with me because I don't know who you are. Can't be so bothered. And you have to embrace that because, guys, you're at a distance. Especially if it's a long distance, guys. I mean, especially if it's like a plane ride. If you got to jump on a plane to go see somebody, you need to be abusing technology to stay connected with that person. Simply because when you do go see each other, you're only going to have but so much time, a week, 2 weeks, if that's the time that you have off from work, whatever. And the rest of that is going to have to be spent in something like this. So why not take advantage of that and put yourself in the best position possible? So that's just me. And again, like I said, a lot of this is new for me to fathom because like I said, I'm spoiled, but I'm learning, and these are the times. And I know this is what a lot of people are using. So I'm like, hey, let me make sure that I'm right where I need to be able to help people in this position. So that's something there. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. I was unable to. There we go. Let me open that up. Okay. All right, guys, you ready to move on to number 3? Let's go. Let's go. Ebony, Michelle, Kim. Let's see. Tracy's here. There we go. Did I get everybody? Yeah, Michelle. Let me see who I missed. Oh, Amy. Gotcha. All right. I don't particularly care to be on video, but necessary to verify who you are and verify the other person. And that's a choice too, Amy. I mean, Michelle, that's a choice. And that's something that you have to make the decision of how that's going to work for you. Because, again, if it's not something that you're into, again, then you got to find a way to make that work, especially if you're going to attempt a long-distance relationship. You got to figure out how you're going to be able to feed that person and feed your emotions and the things that you need. So you're going to have to figure out what works. Okay, moving on to number 3, guys. Appreciate you. Okay, here we go. Maintain a level head and work on resolving trust issues. Now, this is big. Maintain a level head and work on resolving trust issues. Very important. You cannot bring baggage. You cannot bring baggage to the table and ask somebody to deal with that because you had issues in a previous relationship and so forth and so on. Then take the time to heal you, but you may not need to be in a long distance relationship right now. Because if you can't keep a level head, and if you're having trust issues, now I'll read what I was able to find. While communicating regularly with your partner, it will fortify a long-distance relationship. You will also need to maintain a level head during periods where you are not in contact. Absence can create serious feelings of insecurity and paranoia, especially if your partner has relocated for work purposes and is socializing with new friends and colleagues. T to the Y, what's going on? 3 may not stay long. Okay, nah, brother, listen, if you're not feeling well, get some rest, man. And also, your book is on the way. I appreciate you, my dude. That's going out. I'll send you the track and information sometime tonight. But if you're not feeling well, man, get some rest. I've been a little all day, man. I think I'm going to do a 7-day fast where I just, all liquids, just to cleanse myself and just give me a new balance. I got a lot of things I'm working on, so I may do it just to clear my head. But yes, you have to, and you cannot try to control someone from a distance. Where were you at? You said you were going to text me. You said you were going to call me. And listen, here's the reason why you don't bug out in a long distance relationship. You couldn't stop anything anyway. So keeping a level head and resolving whatever issues you have, listen, keep it real. Be real with yourself. You cannot. How come you ain't call me? I looked at your pictures. You liked some chick's pictures 17 times. Okay. Okay. Now that, you can maybe have a conversation if they're not liking any of your pictures, but they're liking somebody else's pictures. All right. But at the end of the day, they take a picture at work. Who's that me on TC? Who's that dude? No, relax. Relax. Because again, you have to be able to keep your head straight when you're at a distance. Because the worst thing that you want to do is try to cramp somebody from a distance and think that you can control the situation. Because if they decide to come on and give you everything that you want while this camera is on, and then as soon as this camera go off, they go in there and get buck freaky, what you gonna do? Nothing. What can you do? Nothing. So to try to control it or to just get outside your head and you start bugging out because you got trust issues. And I always find it interesting when a person says, I have trust issues. Okay, but if we haven't met, how do you know you can't trust me? So you have trust issues, I got you. Are you working on it? Because if you're not working on it, well, thank you for telling me. I don't think we need to talk. Because yes, if you have trust issues, are you getting help for those? And if you are, cool, then why are you dating? Because now you're asking someone to deal with your issue. And just because you tell me, don't mean that I want to deal with it. And I think a lot of people figured that out, so they don't say anything. They literally go, I'm not going to say nothing because I don't want to scare him or her off. But if you know you have these issues, you need to say something because they're going to come out at some point. And that's what happens to a lot of people. They don't give enough information at the beginning. And they say, well, let me see where this goes because I want to protect myself. Then things get good or things get pretty good or things get great. And all of a sudden, this monster that was a little thing or was a big thing comes up out of the closet. And it's like, who's this person? And now you're hoping that you built up enough receipts with this person that they'll ride it out with you. Well, if you already knew this, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you take the risk at taking the loss? Because the person may say, I'm so glad you told me, but I'm sorry. That's not for me. I'm so glad you shared, but that's not for me. That right there. That right there. And that's the reason why you have to maintain a level head and work on resolving your trust issues. They're yours. They're not the other person's. And I've literally had men and women say to me, she gonna bug out, he gonna bug out because I told him I got issues, and I told him I had trust issues, and I told her I had trust issues. Whoa, wait a minute. So they're now supposed to augment their life because you have issues? They're now not supposed to be friendly with people that they're friendly with, go places that they like to go because you have issues with you? Who wants to be in that? And these are the things you got to think about, guys. You really got to be honest with yourself. And a lot of people are not. That's the one thing that I can honestly tell you, that since I've started counseling professionally, the lies that people tell themselves, and they literally act as if I'm not going to figure it out. I'll literally say, why did you do this? Well, when he and what she said and when they said, hold on. I got that. But why did you do that? Nah, it's not what you think. You don't understand. I always love when somebody tell me I don't understand. They haven't told me nothing. Really? How am I supposed to understand? You ain't said nothing. I just sit and wait, let them go through the hemming and hawing, and go, okay, you want to answer my question now? Oh, you know what? I just remember I got to go. So can we end the session a little early? I'll pay you. And they figure by paying me, I'll be quiet. Well, I'm going to take the money because you owe me for the session. But I'll say, when we come back, I need you to answer that question. Because that's a very important question. So, moving on to number 4, guys. You ready for number 4? And again, welcome to Unapologetically Keith. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10:30. So, you guys ready for number 4? So let me ask, now I'm going to be nosy. How many people here? Okay, let's do this before we go on to number 4. If you believe in long-distance relationships, put a Y. If you do not, put an N. Yay and nay. If you believe in long-distance relationships, put Hey, Pam, put a Y. And if you do not, put an N. Yay and nay. If you believe in long distance relationships, let me see from who I got here tonight. Who believes in long distance relationships? Yay and nay. Now, I told you this was not something that I was a strong believer in. I'm learning. And again, I'm stepping outside my own circles, my own comfort zone with this. So, okay. Michelle says yay. Pam says yay. Okay. Anybody else? Yay and nay. Why if yes, and if no. And yes, thank you for the 4, Kim, Michelle, and Pam. I got you. Kim said nope. I got you, Ebony. I'm going to go on to number 4 in a second. I just want to get a feel of the room. So we got 1 no, we got 2 yeses, or 3 yeses, or 1 no. We got 2 yeses, 1 no. Okay, so I got a couple here. All right, interesting. Okay, moving up, we got 2 no's, split down the middle so far. Tracy said no. Okay, all right, 2 no's, 2 yeses. Love it. Ebony said no. Ooh, okay. I would have swore that we were going to have more. Interesting. Okay, so I don't feel so bad that I was a nay. I'm not going to lie. I'm learning that the yes may be real. I need that so I can help people. Okay, moving on to number 4, guys. I appreciate you guys giving a number 4. Here we go. Number 4. Remember the reason why you formed the relationship with the person in the first place. Remember your why. Remember why you formed the relationship with the person in the first place. Because you're going to need that to sustain you. Your why will always hold you down in whatever you're in. If you chose a particular job, remember why you did it. If you're in a relationship, why did you do it? If you chose a workout plan, why did you do it? Whatever you decided to do, remember your why. And if that why changes, then that's all she wrote. You have to remember. Is that have to remember the why, Pam? I want to make sure I'm not behind on any of the posts that come up in the chat room. Is that you have to remember the why and when you're dating long distance? Remember the reason why you formed why you got into the relationship with your partner to begin with? Is that you have to remember that? I want to make sure I'm commenting in the right direction. But let me just read this while I'm waiting to see what Pam answers. When dealing with trust issues, you will always need to remain focused on your relationship and the reason why you engage romantically with your partner in the first instance. By remembering their unique qualities and the feelings of like and love, the underpin of your relationship, you can quickly put the mind at ease and negate any doubts that may exist in your mind. Yes, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure, Pam. I figured as much, but I always want to make sure. I want to make sure I'm speaking on the right thing. So Pam says, yes, remember the why you are in a relationship. Easy to forget what you are focused on without question. And Pam, I thought when I put this one down on the sheet, I thought it was interesting because I think too often many people forget their why. Or they allow chatter, local chatter, or sometimes more direct chatter to slide them off their base. Now remember, when you got into this with this person, if y'all mutually agreed to deal with each other from a distance, you need to take that into consideration if your why has changed. It is not fair to that person if you now have decided that this is not what you really want, and now you're starting to go this way. Tell that person quickly. Don't do that to them. Don't have a person possibly putting things on hold where they are for you, and your why has now changed. Not fair. And that's just bad business. It's just bad. If you know you can't do this, then be honest. And I wouldn't care if it's at a distance or if y'all are in something right across the street from each other. The minute that you are no longer digging this, you have to say something. Keep it honest. If it changes, be honest. Thank you so much, True Pam. And it's very important. It is very important because, and I've said this when Tiff and I was on, pay me the compliment of being direct. You heard Tiff say it, and she gets it from me because I say it all the time. When people start to hem and hawing, just get to it. Don't sugarcoat nothing. Just tell me. I can deal with it. I'm a big boy. Let's go. If it's going to hurt, it's going to hurt. You dragging it out ain't going to make any difference. Just let's get to it. If you're not with it, you're not with it. If it's over, it's over. Yeah, I'm going to be hurt, but I'm going to be okay. How long? Who knows? Because the minute that we play around, hey, Tiff, the minute that we play around, the minute that we don't let somebody know why or why, and you don't have to explain why the why has changed, but you know it's going to come. You know you're going to hear Hey, what's going on, Tiffany? You know you're going to hear why, what happened. Now, do you owe the person an explanation? I feel yes. If the person has not done anything wrong to you, if the person has not wronged you, if the person has not treated you badly, and your why has changed, I honestly believe you owe that person at least an idea of why your thing changed, because they may need that to change in themselves. And don't hit them with the "it's not you, it's me." Yeah, we know it's you. You ain't got to put it on them, but they're gonna ask, was it something that they did? And you go, no. Here's what it is. I'm not feeling this long distance thing anymore. I want to kind of date somebody closer to home. Okay, tell the truth. And if it's a nasty reason, tell them the truth. I need it on a regular and I can't get it from you, so I'm just going to go knock down a couple people close. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. The lower part of the body puts a lot of pressure on the top part. Tell the truth. What's going on south of the belly button is tough. It's tough. That's part of the reason why when I was young, I didn't believe in long distance relationship. Man, please. You heard me and Tiff talk about it. When Tiff would talk about dating, I was like, I ain't dating. And please do it before they try to move to a city. People, yes. You can't let somebody make all these life changes because y'all were in agreement and then your part of the agreement changed and you don't tell them right away. You can't do that. And if we're all in agreement with that one, because it's just not, thank you so much for the thumbs up, Tiff. It's just not cool to do because you don't know what a person may be trying to do to make things better for you guys. That if you don't tell them, man, that's just foul. Okay, your feelings change. Tell them. Oh, but it's going to hurt them. So, it's the truth. Or you're going to stay in it and be unhappy and then make them unhappy anyway because you're not being the real, authentic you. You lose either way. It's a lose-lose proposition. When in doubt, be honest. And when you're going to be honest, be direct. Don't be indirect. Don't play. Say, listen, we got to talk. You know when I said I wanted to be with you forever? I don't. What? Are you just going to tell me like that? Yes. Because I don't want to play any games and I don't want to hurt you any more than I'm going to. I just want somebody closer. I met somebody new. I'm just horny. Whatever it is, tell the truth. Tell the truth. You must tell them. Yes, I agree, Michelle. Tell the truth. Maybe the person decides, hell, I'm flying back tomorrow. You don't know. Let's move on to number 5, guys. Let's move on to number 5. Put a 5 in the chat room if you're ready to move on to number 5. So again, welcome to Unapologetically Keith every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9:30 to 10:30. We are talking about 10 ways to make a long-distance relationship work. Number 1 was maintain an open line of communication. Number 2 was embrace technological advancements. Number 3, maintain a level head and work on resolving trust issues. Number 4, remember your reason why you formed a relationship with them, or simply remember your why. Hey, what's going on, Amy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Tracy says, and cut it off and don't string them. Yes, don't cut them off and then next week say I need you and all that. If it's done, it's done. Let's see who. Okay. Keisha wanted to come on and talk to me? Hold on a second. All right. Or did you just hit the wrong button? You wanted to... All right, I'll bring you on, Keisha. What's going on?
Hey.
You hit the wrong button. You hit the wrong button?
I must have hit the wrong button.
All right, I'm going to put you back in. I'm going to put you back in. By all means, guys, if you want to jump in here and talk to me, I ain't got no problem with that. He's like, whoa, wait a minute. No, don't put me on. Yes, don't string them along, guys. Do not string them along. Okay, number 5, here we go. Number 5. Make the most of any time spent together. Now, very important. When you do travel, or when they come to travel with you, y'all should have already discussed when that person is coming. Y'all should maximize that time the best you can. Get every drop of the time that y'all spend with each other, because in a long distance relationship, you may not know when you're going to see each other again, or even if you have scheduled time, make the most of your time. Depending on the premise, the precise circumstance of your relationship and the distance involved, the chances that you are at least going to spend minimum amount of time with your chances are you're going to spend minimum amount of time with your partner. This must be optimized if your union is to succeed, as it serves as a physical reminder of the nature of your love and the depths of your feelings. So strive to plan activities in advance and ensure that you make the most of every single moment. So again, in a long distance relationship, when you and that person decide to get together, it should not be spent on what are we going to do. We should already have that worked out. Every possible thing that you are trying to do, get it in. And if it's a physical thing, get it in. Get it in. Not that I'm advocating that, but if that's your thing, get it in. Would I prefer you to be married? Yes. But if you're not, get it in. Do you? But have all, especially in this time of COVID, you must be careful. Well, that's the underlying thing. And I'm actually getting ready to mention that. I'm glad you said that, Michelle, because this one right here. And I had a circle around number 5. And I was just about to explain that. There you go, Michelle. We on the same accord. Now, this right here, guys, and I'm glad Michelle brought this up. This is where you got to be very, very careful. We're living in the times of COVID. Yes, you want to see your partner. Yes, you want to spend that time and do everything that you need to do. This is where you got to really check yourself. If they have a job or they have the type of life that puts them in proximity of a lot of people, please understand that when you decide to let that person into your life because now y'all want to spend time together, you got to pray that they're doing all the right things, because they may be bringing a lot more than just themselves. And we have to keep that at the forefront. If they're quarantining and doing the things that they're supposed to do and they're keeping their distance, and you want to say, hey, I'm okay with my boo coming to see me, that's fine. But please understand that in these times today, you may be bringing more to their lives than they're ready to deal with, and vice versa. And you have to keep that at the forefront. You cannot be absent of what is going on in the world. And sadly, the more videos that I watch, the more I notice that people are acting as if this virus is not real, and it scares me. Oh, no problem, teacher. Yo, get some rest, man. And I pray you feel better, man. I hope everything is okay. Get some rest, my dude. Nah, no doubt on the book. I got you. Signed and everything. It's on its way out to you, man. I pray that you enjoy it. Get some rest, man. I appreciate you even coming on in the state that you're in, my man. Get some rest, and I'll definitely look out for you, and we'll see you on Friday, my dude. Feel better. My prayers are with you. But again, guys, and I'm going to be honest with you. I just got an email tonight that I was invited to come back to do some consultation that I do, and they said they're allowing the counselors to come into the building. I'm going to have to walk away from a large amount of money, and I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I don't feel comfortable in-person counseling, and I know I'm losing a great opportunity. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting my family at risk. I'm not putting myself at risk, and I'm just not doing it. I don't feel comfortable, and I couldn't imagine. Hey, how you doing, Tony? I couldn't imagine in a long distance relationship to segue back to what we're talking about. I personally would have to hold off on being with the person that I really want to be with, because remember, they're not just bringing. They may be bringing more than themselves in these COVID streets, and it may not be, and they might not have even got COVID from where they live. Just the travel from where they live to you, COVID might have hit the long. And thank you guys. I appreciate you, Pam. I think it appreciate you, Michelle. And it's hard because it's a ridiculous amount of money for the work that I'm doing, and I love what I do, but I love my life more, and I'm terrified. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And I'm a former health teacher. That's why I think I'm even more terrified, because I know people are not paying attention to the epidemiology. I know they're not. Look, we just found out that the president was lying about it back in February. Why? Why did he not want to cause a panic? Which is one of the things that I talked about. And guys, we got to pay attention that, yes, we may love somebody dearly. Man, listen. Now, are people going to take those chances? Yes, some of us are. And I am simply saying to all of you that if you do take those chances. Make the most out of every minute. I'm going to tell you why, and this is even with COVID in mind. God forbid one of you get COVID or both of you do. Do you want to find out you got COVID and y'all had a lame time together? At least say, man, that was a hell of a week. I'm going to fight this COVID off. Okay, not that I'm hoping that you get it. But it's better to get it and be like, oh my God, that's how I'm going to get COVID. Let's go. Okay. Not that I'm hoping it on anybody, because you don't want it. You don't want to be nowhere near it. But exactly. I feel you, Pam. And I think that's what's hurting a lot of relationship guys. And I read something the other day, and it talked about 94% of the people in the country are in some form of crisis due to COVID. I'd rather love you from it. There you go. Pam said no. my partner, my partners are in their 80s. My parents are in their 80s. My mom has an autoimmune disease. I must stay healthy in order to be able to be around them. I feel you, Michelle. And I think anybody with elderly parents, I'm so conscious about everything I do. Yes, Tony. Anybody with elderly parents and anybody with small children, you know this is a fear. Because you know they can give it to you, you can give it to your parents. Let me tell you something, guys. I'm gonna tell you why this is scary. Is because having taught about HIV, having taught the West Nile virus, swine flu, which I had. Swine flu is a rhinovirus. It's not a coronavirus. It's a rhinovirus. That's what swine flu was. And I had swine flu and I was knocked down for 10 days. And let me tell you something, it's the worst feeling in the world. Especially when there's not a lot that can be done other than rest, fluids, antibiotics. But when a doctor can't give you anything, when there's nothing that can be done other than just trying to mitigate your pain, you don't want to come in contact with that. Because the one thing doctors are going to tell you is that no one can tell you what's going to happen when it enters your body. Please understand that. And you also don't want to give it to somebody else and knock off a bunch of people, like we just saw in Maine. 61 people at a wedding. Hey, Nikki, 61 people at a wedding, 32 people infected. Turns out 147 people have been infected in total, 3 deaths. All since August 7th, a little over a month. All right? And sometimes you got to fear the unknown. And sometimes you have to fear the unknown, Tony, simply because if keeping you safe means staying close to home, do it. But if you have to go out, and I'm going to give you something, like Tiff's friend in Florida, she's in the healthcare field. Her husband's an officer. They have 3 children, I told you this before, and a father-in-law. 2 months ago, they found out she was infected with COVID. He was infected with COVID. They don't know how either one of them got it. Both of their sons was infected with COVID. Their daughter, who has asthma, they cornered her off, put her in another part of the house, kept her away from the rest of the family. Father-in-law wound up getting it. Father-in-law passed not 3 weeks after they found out they had it. The husband and wife are recovering. Hey, Kim, the husband and wife are recovering, thank God, and their sons are recovering. So they are probably recover. They'll probably make a full recovery, except now they do not have their father-in-law. I have 2 wedding invites, not understanding why, and they're still having the wedding. Guys, if anybody wants to do a Google search, look for the wedding August 7th up in Maine. I forget the little small town. Up until this infection, up until this blowout, right? In 6 months, they only had 150 people infected in the 3 towns that kind of border each other. In 6 months, only 150 people infected, no deaths. In a month, because of a wedding, they had 147 people get infected and 3 people died. And I think it was Kim that said the other day, like I said, that same pastor who did the wedding turned around and opened up his church after finding all this out the next Sunday for 3 services with people wearing no mask or whatever, just foolish. So again, number 5, make the most of your time, but please do not forget the times that we're in, guys. Please do not forget that no matter how much you really want to just see your boo and how much you want to have fun and go to dinner and all these things and just roll around and act like you're teenagers again. Okay. Please understand that you may be giving them something, they may be giving you something that you just can't do nothing with. Pam says, nope, I told folks don't expect to see me anytime soon. I have to stay healthy to see my mom in Chicago. Hey, Kim. Yes, let me tell y'all something. I didn't even go to my mother's funeral in New York because I was not traveling with my daughter and my wife from Delaware through New Jersey into New York for my mother's funeral. My mother's no longer here. I'm good. I made my peace with it when I heard that she died. But I was not, and then my sister wanted to have an open Zoom dates, honey. Be creative, exactly. My sister wanted to have a like a homegoing something in the backyard with a DJ and all that stuff. Y'all go ahead. I ain't go. Now, my understanding is none of the family members came down or anything that we know of, thank God, but wasn't doing it. Not in these times. Because for me, you're not going to invite me to be close to anything that I can't treat. And we can use all of the homemade medications that we need, and some of them do work. Don't get me wrong. Anything that attacks your organs is never good, and we don't need to mess with it if we don't need to. Not just for dating purposes. Anyway. You got to go out and work. That's different. But for dating, that's something totally separate. All right, let's move on to number 6. And again, welcome to anybody that just showed up, Tony, Kim, and everybody else that might have came in. Again, you guys know you're watching Unapologetically Keith every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9:30 to 10:30. Appreciate it. And as you know, it goes down in the chat room. So I appreciate you guys, especially with the way that you guys bring it all the time. We got some of the greatest folks here. So hello to all of you, and good evening to all of you. Let's go on to number 6. Put number 6. Let's get back on track. We got a couple more to finish up. I got 10 things that help a long distance relationship work. Hopefully they will help somebody. I know Michelle says she needed this, so hopefully it is helping. So let's put a number 6 in the chat room. Let's move forward. Let's keep this going. So I got a number 6, Tony. I see you. Let's get another number 6, and we're going to keep this going. Give me 2 more. I got one for Pam. There we go. All right, here we go. When my uncle passed in March, only 25 people were allowed in the service. They handed out, exactly, full body condom. Talk about it, Kim. Wrap up. Wrap all the way up. Hazmat suits with a little tiny hole. Little tiny condom space. All right, here we go. Number 6. Thank you for the number 6s, guys. Here we go. Number 6 on the top 10 list is keep the spark of physical attraction alive. Now, I'm going to read what I'm explaining to you what I mean by that. Keep the spark of physical attraction alive. Adapting to any transition in your relationship can be difficult, especially if it involves relocation or a lack of time spent together. This can cause genuine feelings of sadness and depression, which in turn can cause you to neglect your personal appearance and develop a negative approach to life. It is important that you remain motivated and energized for the good of the relationship, and ensure that the sparks of physical and romantic attraction remain omnipresent at all times. Well, basically, keep yourself up. Just because your partner does not live near you, that don't mean you can just show up on Zoom looking, how you doing, boo? No. I feel bad when I don't shave and come on. I'm looking raggedy. I actually say I'm sorry because I didn't shave, but okay. But I mean, if you looking crazy and your house looking crazy, no, don't do that. Keep it up the same as you would if the person was sitting right in the room with you. Look good. Put yourself together. Give that person reason to like you all over again, love you all over again. Give that person reason to miss you all over again. So when y'all do get that time, and y'all are both COVID negative, rock out. You took a test? I took my test. Let's go. But I'm just saying, don't show up on Zoom and be look. I've been on a lot of Zoom calls, guys. I see some folks. I'm like, whoa, okay, yeah, how you doing this evening? Ooh. you know, you can look at somebody and be like, they almost look like their breath stink through the phone. Like, I mean, it's especially as dudes, you looking real unshaven and like, what's that? And I know you ladies take a lot of time to get yourselves right. Don't show up on Zoom just what? You ain't here. trust and believe, there's a lot of OnlyFans pages out there. There's a lot of women out there making some money taking their clothes off. Y'all better get that right. I'm gonna need some proof of the test. No honest. That's the same with the AIDS test, man. Listen. I don't know when you took that. We going together. Let's go. Okay. Negative, right? Let's go. We gonna take this together. We gonna drive through the drive by, hang our faces out the window. We gonna get the Q-tip down to the throat. We good? All right, let's go straight back to the crib. That's not gonna work for some evidence. Without question. Without question. But yes, number 6, keep yourself up. Also, it'll give your significant other motivation too. You show up and start looking real right. They're gonna be like, I better work. Yeah, you better get your game right. You ain't the only one out there I could be hustling with. It don't change because it's virtual, guys. If you looking real good and she ain't, or you looking real good and he ain't, trust me, that will be motivation. He might start driving a little bit more often or flying a little bit more often to see you. And also, it's good for your person. And wait 2 weeks. Well, if he got 2 weeks, Kim, you may not have 2 weeks. So you may have to take that shot. You may have to take that negative and pray it's not a false negative. Listen, here's the crazy part. Somebody asked me how come I'm not bowling as much as I love bowling. Because one, I don't trust being in the bowling alley, and I don't trust being around people. That's where I'm at right now. And that's why I said, you guys in long distance relationships, my hat is off to you. I just don't want to be around people right now. I don't roll out of bed and Zoom. Bed hair ain't cool. No, it's not. Listen, I have seen people, like I said, I've seen people on professional Zoom that I'm like, do they know this is work related? Do they know this is a profession? Oh no. But to each his own. But definitely. All right. Let's move on to number 7, guys. Move on to number 7. Let's put a number 7 up. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Number 7. Throw number 7 up. Be ready to move on. And I love your answers. I love your answers always. It goes down in the chat room. And the reason why I love your answers, anybody that wants to come back and watch this replay, if they're reading these responses, it helps. It helps tremendously. I know. Because I know a lot of people may not be up this time, especially with school being back in session. And I know some people are going to watch this during the day and they're going to see your responses. And it really makes a difference to the people. I know some people have told me, so I really appreciate all of you. This virus ended my 59-year bowling career. Kim, you and I have battled and you and I have bowled together. And when I say it's hurting me right now, but Kim, I cannot go into a bowling alley when like I know how stupid a lot of people are when they get into the bowling alley. I'm not doing it. And let's see, I've been bowling since 81. So 1939, I'm a little younger, right behind you. Yeah, I started bowling in 80. So yeah, 40 years. And I'm not doing it. And I was having such a great season this season. I don't care. I'm not doing it. Okay, number 7, guys. Me and Kim will talk about bowling another time. All right, here we go. Number 7. Understand your romantic and passion. I'm sorry. Understand your romantic and professional goals. Understand your romantic and professional goals. Succeeding in a long-distance relationship demands a keen sense of assurance and security, as otherwise you will consistently question the union and the long-term intentions of your partner. Ultimately, you must have a clear understanding of your romantic and professional goals while also taking the time to comprehend those of your partner. This ensures that your relationship will have the best possible chance of surviving, while it is also confirms that you and your partner share similar goals in life. 1961. Woo, go ahead, Kim. And still throw a mean ball. I'm not mad at you. I bowled against you. I know how tough you is. But really, guys, what that simply means is you two should be on one accord. You should have an idea of what you guys are working on romantically and professionally. Trust me, Tony, that she's a beast. And her son is a beast too. I've had to fight against them many a night. They are tough. That's not no easy win. Ain't no easy win against them. She is tough. Her and her son is tough. But listen, you need to be on one accord. You need to be, it's okay to do the boo thing and be booed up and all of that, but what are y'all doing romantically? What are y'all doing professionally? Because you also want to see what's the end. Like, where are we going with this? Because you don't plan on being distant forever. So you want to have those conversations, little checkpoints along the way. If it's been a couple of years now, are you going to maybe talk about making moves and stuff like that? And that's not always easy because who makes the move? Who goes to who? How do you do it? What are you going to do? These are all conversations that should be had. Should be had in your conversations. Everything can't just be sitting there going, I miss you. I miss you too. And what are you doing right now? Sometimes you got to have real conversations, real communication. Where are y'all going? Okay, let me put it this way. There's only two things you can do in any relationship: grow closer together or further apart. Because you're not going to stay stagnant. Time will not allow that. Time will not allow you just to stay there in one place and that's it. You're either going to drift closer together or you're going to drift apart. In that time, you have to open up your mouth and say with your partner, what are we doing? We've been at this too long. What are we doing? Are we trying to get together? Are we getting married? Or are we going to start a business? What are we doing? Ask the hard questions. Kids, moves, profession, finances, all of that. All of that goes under the romantic and professional goals. All of it. Because you need to know what you're moving towards. If his job is a temporary or her job is a temporary thing, okay, so these next 3 years, we're going to rock this way. But when you come back, we're going to do boom. If the job is permanent, okay, are we settling up on things here so eventually we can move together there or whatever it is, you need to have that talk. And it can't be games. Now, we're adults, and of course, we don't talk like adults. Put it on the table. Some people don't want to move because they're not comfortable going to new places. Tiff and I was ready to get out of New York. So when we came to Delaware. We didn't really know Delaware. We had did good business over the 5 years, 7 years that we had come down here selling books and everything else. But we had never lived here. We had never spent any long extended time here. Maybe 4, 5, 6 days. I'm from South Jersey. At one point, I lived in South Jersey, so was familiar with Delaware, but not the interior and everything like that. We settled on Delaware simply because it fit what we were doing romantically, professionally, and what we wanted for our daughter. And in the end, it paid off. But we're not in a long distance relationship. So you guys in a long distance relationship, you gotta have these difficult conversations. And you can't shy away from it. And if you're not ready, then you really need to ask yourself what you're doing in your relationship. If you're not ready to have the hard conversations, what are you doing? Because trust and believe, there's always somebody who's attempting to get close. Now, that doesn't mean the person's going to let them in, but there's always, virtually or physically, get the uncomfortable questions out. Yes, so you can know what you're dealing with. Of course, there it is, fam. Trust and believe, there's always somebody close. So how you and that dude in Delaware doing? He ain't get his butt out here to see you? How your girl doing? The one that's in Michigan? Yeah? She ever coming out here to California to see you? Trust and believe. There's always somebody close. Lamping. Some people are obvious with it. Some people lay in the weeds and just chill. And they let you sabotage yourself and then they move in. Some will help sabotage if they allow you. So always make sure you get those difficult questions out of the way because it is very important that you do. Because if not, you can be putting yourself in a very bad situation and setting yourself up for a traumatic, especially at a distance. Because there's so many nuances, there's so many caveats to being in that type of relationship to begin with, as we are discussing, that if you do not get these questions out, you could be setting yourself up for destruction. And I don't want to see that to anybody. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. That makes me feel good. I do try to research it enough to, because listen, I know I can't come with no BS to y'all guys. I try to make it interesting. So thank you so much. All right, let's go on to number 8, guys. We're going to finish up the last 3, almost 10:30, but I'll stay a little bit longer with you. Let's do the last 3. All right, give me a number 8. We're at number 8. Let's do a number 8. We're going to knock down these last 3. And I'm not going to rush you. Number 8. Number 8. Now, this one is an interesting one for me because I think people don't look at this one here. And so I want to discuss that one too. So, number 8. Thank you, Michelle. See the number 8. Give me one more number 8 and I'm going to move on. There we go. Thank you, Tony. Consider the benefits. Now, listen to me. Consider the benefits of the time apart. Consider the benefits of the time apart. That's beautiful meditation time. That's beautiful do you time. Now, I ain't saying go out here and run out in these streets. We got COVID out there in these streets. And I don't mean inviting anybody into the crib because we got COVID coming into the crib. But I'm talking about the time apart is a good time for you to work on you. Good time to write that book. Good time to work out. Good time to build on some things for yourself while your significant other is in a different place. Think of often conducting a long-term relationship relies on your ability to think positive, and make the best from less in an ideal situation. If you approach a relationship with open and forward-thinking mind, for example, it is possible to recognize the benefits of spending time apart from a loved one and use that realization to strengthen the bond, the love, and the fondness. This takes time, however. You must also be patient and allow yourself to adapt to your newly enforced circumstances. And what's not there is that this is a great time for you to do you. Might be a time to go to school now because you don't have the added worry of taking care of somebody, being with somebody right now. And y'all can set up your time to see each other in between semesters. Whatever works for you. But don't overlook that positive. Often we look at the negative. Develop yourself, make yourself more interesting to you and your partner without question. Let me tell you something. If you take the time to work on you, your partner flies out, drives out, whatever, and you looking stunning, male or female, and you say, this is what I've been doing with my time, baby, that speaks for itself. That degree on the wall speaks for itself. New apartment, the way you remodeled everything speaks for itself. And when a person says, so you've been rocking out here. Listen, boy, I got to do something when I don't see you. That helps bond two people together, especially if they're trying to do some of the same thing. And they're taking advantage of their time away from you. This is why it's so important to talk. So important to share time with each other. So and it goes back to what I was talking about let me just flip this over right here. And number 7, understanding your romantic and your professional goals. Because if you two have goals and you're rocking out on your end, you have now held a torch to them. They now be like, oh, I better get on my grind. My baby not playing. Okay, that's motivation. And they may tell you, hey, baby, I came out to see you. I love what you did with the apartment. Let me get on my grind. Well, you know what? I'm going to work a couple of extra hours. I'm going to send you a little something. Hey, boo, I love the way I love the way you looking in those videos. Okay, cool. All those things work, especially when you're at a distance. But don't overlook that times. Often people beat themselves up for being alone. That alone time might be the thing that actually holds your relationship together through some difficult times that when you come back together, you may be stronger than before you even left to be apart. You don't know. Each relationship is different, but this is just to help you consider that. Hey, Lise, how we doing? Good to see you tonight. Okay, moving on to number 9, guys. We got 2 left of the top 10 things that help a long-distance relationship make it. Again, you're listening to Unapologetically Keith every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 9:30 to 10:30. I appreciate all of you. And if you're ready to finish this up strong, let's put a number 9 in the chat room. I have to say, I know in my heart I could not do a long distance more than an hour. No, I listen, Amy, I started off by saying I'm spoiled. It would be very difficult for me. I'm very serious. It would be very difficult for me to have a long distance relationship. But when I was doing the research, I wanted to make sure I addressed it because I know that it works. I've seen it work as well as I've seen it fail. And I want to be open to be able to help those that need it. And so I'm learning that it can work, but it takes work. It takes a commitment. All right, number 9. Thank you for all the number 9s, guys. Here we go. Be spontaneous when possible. Number 9, be spontaneous when possible. While routine and scheduled visits are crucial to the longevity of a long distance relationship, there is always room for spontaneity and adventure in any union. This can help keep your relationship fresh and exciting, while it also underlines your motivation not to take your partner for granted. So, when possible, commit to making surprise and unannounced visits to your partner's new location, and do not be afraid to send gifts such as flowers and chocolate. On a fundamental level, this should be both you and your partner's time to adapt to your new circumstances. Now, let me tell you why that's a double-edged sword. When I researched that one and I wrote that one down, I was like, though I understand the theory behind being spontaneous with just popping up unannounced, I also understood like the Biz Markie song. Oh snap! What did I see? When he went to go to college and saw his girl. Well, this is where, again, it could be a double-edged sword. Yes, be spontaneous. Yes, pop up on your person. Yes, show up for their birthday when they because they said they really wanted to see you and you snuck on out to see them. I got all of that. This is where you're really going to put the relationship to the test, because it is in times like this that people find out some of the worst news in the world. You might find out that's what I'm talking about, man. But I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I'm just going to tell you be prepared. Yes, you can find out some very interesting stuff. Whose dresses are these? You been cheating on me? No, they're mine. Whose mustache and wig is this? You may learn something. And men, any men watching this, you pop up on your lady, you might see, what the, is that a toy? You might want to call. But listen, be spontaneous. Be spontaneous. But just know, anytime, and that's whether it was long distance or even if y'all live, like I said, right across the street from each other, you show up unannounced. I'm praying that it turns out the way. I hope it plays out to be that love story to go, she showed up for my birthday, and oh my God, I was so surprised. I love her. And he showed up for my birthday, and I love him. I showed up for my birthday, and I was like, what the hell? After that last comment, I'm trying to figure out what I missed. Toys. Jamila, you married, right? Okay. Come on, Jamila. You were single at one time. You got girlfriends. Ask them about toys. And trust me, you pop up unannounced. You might see toys that you never even thought. What is that? I didn't get a chance to put that back in the closet. Oh man. And there was one time that I did, and he was not who I thought. All right, there you go. There you go. Some of those stories. See, you know what, Michelle? I'm not messing with you. Yes. I knew it. Oh, you just too. I'm sorry, Jamila. I'm sorry. I'm just messing with you. But yes, we're talking about if you show up at your significant other's house when you're in a long-term relationship. I talked about being spontaneous when possible, but I said you got to be careful because you might show up and see some things that you weren't prepared to see. And I said there might be toys that you, what is that? So you have to be careful. Yes, some of them toys might be very nice. And if you don't understand nice and bottom drawer, yes. And if you guys don't know what the chili pepper is, you have to go back to the Sex versus Love show where Miss Amy Hoffman talked about a chili pepper. And we talked about a chili pepper. You know how small a chili pepper is? Anyway, I think she was trying to say eggplant and it came out chili pepper. Let's just, I guess, but we're not going to rely. We're not going to. So any of you that's new, go back into the announcements in the group and look up the Sex versus Love show. Tiff and I were on that night, and you will understand the chili pepper joke. I don't ever want you to be so left out. But I believe Amy was trying to say eggplant, and she said chili pepper. And I said, "Whoa, you know how small a chili pepper? Don't nobody want no chili pepper." But anyway, so yes, be spontaneous when you can, but please understand that when you make that decision to pop up on your significant other, you do not know what you may be prepared for. I am praying that when you pop up, it is exactly what it is supposed to be, and it turns out to be something tremendous. I mean that, but I am a realist, and I've dealt with enough people who have been hurt in the line of business that I do, that I'm not going to say don't, because I love to be spontaneous with Tiffany. Gotta wonder about the stash of batteries in the. You know what? Y'all giving away trade secrets. What's all these C batteries laying around here? Yeah. If they got D batteries, bruh, be nervous. Be very nervous. If they got a closet full of D batteries, what you need all these batteries for? I'm not messing with y'all. Oh my gosh. You know how big a D battery is? Lord help me. Anyway. All right, guys. Let's finish this up strong before this goes way, way left. Number 10, the last one. Looking for one of you. They have them, Kim. They have them. They have them, Kim. The remote controls. You can actually set it up on your computer. Yes, they have them. Be spontaneous during planned dates to be safe. Well, actually, well, Jamila, you're gonna have to go back and listen to something because that's true. But what we're talking about is when, hey, good night, Tony. Thank you so much for hanging with us for night. When you're in a long distance relationship, we're talking about being spontaneous in terms of being able to keep things, keep the spark going because you're at a distance. Now on planned dates, yes, you got to be spontaneous because we talked about that in one of the previous ones. It ain't a 2 liter bottle. Oh no, it ain't. And I've seen a 2 liter bottle toy. You don't want that. I looked at that and was like, you do your thing, dog. So like I said, I've seen those. We talked about that another day. I see that's going to have to be the late show when we talk about dealing with people that have fetishes. All right, the last one, number 10. Thank you, Ebony, for getting us back on track. Number 10, last one, guys. Number 10, the number 10 thing to you to help you have a healthy long distance relationship. This will be the last one for the night because I can feel the energy in the room. Y'all gonna start talking about some things, and I'm gonna start blushing. I'm not gonna blush, but you know, I don't want nobody else to blush. Lord knows what we might hear. But number 10, here we go. And so here we go. The number 10 thing on maintaining a healthy long distance relationship is, and it's very interesting, maintain an active social life. Yes, you can have a social life because your partner is not with you. There's nothing wrong with that. Your partner may have been the epicenter of your social life, but this does not mean that you have to become a recluse who spends their time waiting by the phone once they have relocated. In fact, it is important to remain active and committed to enjoying a rich and busy social life even after your partner has moved. This will aid to the transition process enormously, while it also helps you to maintain a perspective and remain positive about your situation. So yes, keep an active social life. Here's the thing, and it's very important, guys, is that we still got to be respectful adults. There is nothing wrong with keeping an active social life, and it's healthy. Thank you, Pam. You stole regular. I was about to say, there's nothing wrong with keeping an active social life because not only is it healthy, it is necessary for you to keep your sanity. And also, what it'll do, it should strengthen your relationship because it'll make you appreciate what you have even more. When you get out there and you start seeing what a lot of other people are dealing with and what you see what that whole scene is like, a part of you gonna say, you know what, I can't wait to get home and call my boo. Baby, I went out tonight and oh my God, these thirsty dudes. Baby, I went out tonight and oh, these thirsty chicks. How you doing? I just need to hear something good, whatever it is. But the idea is by having an active social life, it allows you to entertain yourself, go out, enjoy yourself. And again, a lot of this is you have to be very wise with it with COVID. So do not think I'm suggesting just run out here and act like COVID is not here. Within safety reasons, of course. But hopefully, when COVID is lifted, you can just go out and enjoy yourself like before. I don't think we're ever going to be the same, but okay. Either way, either way, having an active social life, having an active online social life allows you just to be you. You don't have to become somebody else because you're waiting for that person. If you and that person at a distance, y'all have a strong bond. They're not going to have a problem with you going out and having a social life. They're actually going to encourage it because in doing so, you're keeping yourself up. You're keeping yourself focused. You're keeping yourself strong. Because if not, you could literally drive yourself crazy sitting in the house because thinking about you can't be with the person you really want to be with. That makes you no good to anybody. So what you really want to do is make sure that you have, now, be careful, because in longing for the person that you are missing, you can inadvertently open up the door to something that you don't want to be involved in. Be very careful, especially if you like to drink or smoke or anything else. Because the minute that you start to lower down your inhibitions, doors are open that you may not want open. Never lose your individuality. Very true, Michelle. You have to keep your individuality. Because remember, it is you, the person that you are, that found the person that you were with attractive and vice versa. You start to become something different, you risk destroying the relationship. Now remember, when you keep an active social life, you must keep yourself balanced. Do not allow yourself to go out there and get sucked into things that all of a sudden other things start to look good that didn't look good before, and you start to waver. You start to drift. If that happens, then it goes back to what we said earlier. Then you need to say something. You need to say something. So this is about being an adult now. No kiddie stuff here. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for kids. This is a real adult list here because it is going to require you to be in control of you and be okay with your significant other. And you two working towards building something long term. Because again, I can't see you staying at a long distance forever. We talked about that earlier. And I think that that's very, very important. So guys, again, as always, I want to tell you thank you. I appreciate you so much. And I pray, Michelle, that you got something from this. I know you said you needed this. And anybody else that's in a long-term relationship, I know I asked you earlier if you are. We had a split 2 and 2. I asked who was in a long-term relationship. So before I go, I want to ask a question in terms of long-term relationships. How many of you have been in long-term relationships and it just didn't work? Like you tried, but it just didn't work. Was it because of anything that was on this list? Or was it just, you just weren't built for it? Because if it's anything on this list, thank you. I appreciate that, Michelle. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. And the same thing. So if you've ever been in a long-term relationship that failed, was it because of anything that was on the list? Because if it's on the list, then we don't need to discuss it. But if it wasn't, was it just simply because you just couldn't do it? Because I chose this list, and you go through a bunch of different pages. Sometimes I'll mash things together as I pull from different pages, and sometimes I'll come across a page that just kind of has it, and I like that. But as somebody who's never been in a long distance relationship, everything for me, if it was a year ago, I tried with a guy, we were not compatible in real time, and I like that. Pam, appreciate you sharing that. And that's what I was asking for, because I've never even considered. And any long distance thing that I was in was, okay, you're there, I'll come out there to see you, you come to see me, but I'm gonna do me. And then, when you're here, you'll be my girl for the week, and then you go back home. It is what it is. But that was me. I was nasty. So I'm not a good resource in that aspect. That's why I'm asking you, because you guys are giving me so much feedback that I can use when I'm dealing with other folks, and I love it. Michelle says, been in one that failed. He was arrested. Oh my God. Well, yeah, that would affect things if somebody's nasty. I feel you, Michelle. Oh, that's disgusting. But again, this is the thing, guys. We have to try to learn the person that we're connected with. I mean, and it's whether it was in a relationship. Okay, Jamila said I didn't catch the whole list. Was finding out the person was the whole fool. Was finding out the person was a whole fool. No, we didn't have that one on the list, Jamila. I might have to add that one. All right, real quick. I'll run down all 10 for you real quick. He lied over it. Yeah, I would have to say so if he turned out to be a child molester. All right, real quick, let me just run down the 10 because I know Jamila came in late. Number one, maintain open lines of communication. Number two, embrace technological advancements. Number three, maintain a level head and work on resolving trust issues. Number four, remember the reason why you formed a relationship with your partner to begin with. Remember your why. That was number four. Number five, make the most of any time spent together. They show up, fun, but we talked about being careful with COVID. Number six, keep the spark or physical attraction alive, meaning keep yourself up. Don't just show up on camera any type of way. Make it work so this way you have something to really grasp on. Mine too, after 5 years, found out he was married, not separate. Yeah, that's one that comes up a lot, Kim. I've heard that one before. Unfortunately, that was my experience. And yes, that I've heard that come up before. People had whole other lives, but was just lying in long distance relationship. I'm dealing with a client right now that's going through that very thing, and they are really shook up about it. Number seven, understand your romantic and professional goals. Remember, we talked about that. You should be able to be aligned in what you're doing. You should have some outcome that you both are working on, which is going to give you reason to even want to stay in this relationship. Number eight, consider the benefits of the time apart. Just being apart may not be a negative. It might be a great time for you to work on you. Number nine, be spontaneous when possible. Show up, pop up, all that. Remember we said be careful. You may be popping up and see some things you ain't ready to see. And number 10, maintain an active social life. You have to stay healthy mentally and physically. And by going out and enjoying and being you is a good thing and necessary and needed. I got my little folder here for my show notes. I saved those because if I decide to write a book, I want to be able to have those notes available to me. I already saved the videos, but I may save the notes for future. Found out after my son was born. I got you, Kim. I mean, it's the crazy part is that I have sat with people on both sides, male and female, who have gone through they found out some real nasty negative things from their distance relationships. And it's difficult, some of the things that I've heard people do to other people. I think long-term relationships fail. I think long distance relationships fail, relationships last longer. I think long distance failed relationships last longer because sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes to discover the person's true self. That's why mine failed. I feel you, Jamila. We talked about that, but I think when you're being direct and when you are in constant communication, which we talked about, I think you can draw some of that out. You're never going to know everything about a person, but if you ask the right questions, do the right things, you can get out as much information to be able to make some type of decision. But in a long distance relationship, it's very true and it's very tough, Jamila. People are not going to be able to get as much as they would get if a person is seeing you. So then at that point, it makes it very tough. That's what be living with me. Sorry to hear that, Kim. And listen, there's a lot of filthy. Listen, I was one of them. I was married and went out. I was the worst because I was married. My ex-wife and I had an abortion because we were unable to take. We agreed that having another child was going to work, and the whole time I had got another woman pregnant. So when people ask me why I don't stress why my ex-wife hate me, she has a reason to hate me. And all I can do is I've already apologized and I leave it alone because I was a very nasty and negative dude. If you haven't read from Gigolo to Jesus, yeah, it's in there that I had an abortion. We had an abortion, and then I went out and got the next chick pregnant at the same time. And yes, when she found out, she was crushed by it. But all I could do was apologize, pray for her, and leave it alone. I had a long-term relationship, and I found out that they was gay. I understand right now. The thing is, when people are at a distance, it's easier for them to hide who they really are. And it all depends on how you met, what you've done since you've met. And this is where the professional goals and relationship goals come into play. If y'all have goals to do X, Y, and Z, and y'all are not moving in that direction, that should automatically trigger a conversation. And that communication has to be there because, again, the goal and the why will start to tip you off to what's going on. If your why is not lining up with their why, you should know. But you're never going to know completely in a long distance relationship, and that's the danger. And you have to make that decision if it's something that you want to deal with. You have to say to yourself, is this something that I want to deal with just for that reason? But listen, guys, I'm going to get ready to go. As always, I love you guys, and I love that this sparked so much communication. And I think anybody who comes back to watch this one, Pam said, I'm glad I found out the truth and it was early enough in the relationship for me to decide if he was not the one for me. There you go. That's the danger. You can be fooled so easy. And it's very difficult, guys. But remember, we talked about it. Use the technology. Good night, Pam. Use the technology. Also, personal discernment. Something not feeling right, question it. If it's still not feeling right, cut it loose. You have a built-in sensory, but also use the technology to your advantage. Time, all of that. Use everything. But if at the end of the day it's not feeling right, let it go. All right. Listen, guys. Appreciate you. Love you. See you on Friday. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about just yet. I got to talk to the wife. I'm going to get her to join us if she's not too tired. I always love when she's on. So I will see you guys Friday. I love you. Appreciate you. Please be safe. And remember, this virus is real. Very real. Do not put yourself in a situation where we no longer see you. Do what you got to do. All right? Love you guys. Have a good night.